Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now in Monday Night Football, the Steelers beat the Dolphins 28-15. What's up, Mimi?
Good morning, MV. Jess, Charlamagne, how y'all doing this morning?
Peace,
Good
Mimi.
morning, Mimi.
Good morning. So we begin this morning in Providence, Rhode Island, where a massive manhunt is now underway for the suspected gunman behind that deadly shooting at Brown University. Now, 2 people were killed, 9 others wounded when the shooter opened fire Saturday afternoon inside the engineering building on campus. Police say more than 40 rounds were fired from a 9mm handgun. Authorities have released new photos and video of a person of interest captured several hours before the shooting near the Brown campus. Now, the images, they show a man dressed in dark clothing, walking alone on nearby streets, his face partially covered. Investigators say they do not yet have a clear facial image or a confirmed identity. Now, an earlier person of interest was detained over the weekend. He has since been released after police say the evidence no longer supported holding him. Police, they are now warning, though, that individual that's seen in the new footage should be considered armed and dangerous. The FBI has joined the search and is now offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the suspect's identification, his arrest, and his conviction. And as the search continues, the mayor, Brett Smiley, the mayor of Providence, he was asked how a shooting like this could happen on the campus of an Ivy League university. Let's listen to what he had to say.
You know, Brown University is a little bit unique from other universities, and it's something that I think is beautiful, which is it's an open campus integrated with the neighborhood. This is not a school that has a wall around it or a fence around it. You know, neighbors walk their dog through campus, and I hope that can continue, and I think that it will. Because while it was a Saturday, it was during the final exam period, and so there were 2 final exams taking place. The shooting occurred in a room where there was a study session taking place. It was 4:00 in the afternoon, and so the exterior doors were unlocked, and that would have been typical on campus. That wasn't a failure of protocol or anything like that.
I mean, that's a stupid question. And the reason I say that is even closed campuses, students get in and out off the campus all day long. I went to Hampton University, which had a quote-unquote fence around it, but students walk through the gate all day long. There's different openings for students to get back and into classes, to the library, outside the campus. So you can get on campus. It's not like any campus is set up like a jail where you have to go through certain protocols.
Well, you do want the campuses to be secure. I remember, going on college visits with my daughter, over the last few months. I remember one of the schools we visited, I remember one of the parents was just like, why isn't this place more secure? How come people can just walk in and out?
But that's all colleges, though.
But no, there's some schools you go to that look like, I'm not saying, but they look like Fort Knox, like literally.
Unless it's a private where it's fully gated and they don't let anybody on campus.
There's some.
You don't see too many of them.
There's some.
Well, President Trump, he's also asking, President Trump, he was asked why it's taken so long to identify a suspect, to arrest the gunman, and he's pointing the finger at Brown University, saying they have their own police force. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Has Kash Patel told you why it's been so difficult for the FBI to identify who the shooter is?
You'd really have to ask the school a little bit more about that because, this was a school problem. They had their own guards, they had their own police, they had their own everything, but you'd have to ask that question really to the school, not to the FBI. We came in after the fact, and the FBI will do a good job, but they came in after the fact.
Yeah, and we're now learning the names of the 2 students who were killed. Ella Cook, she was a sophomore and vice president of the Brown College of the Republicans, and Muhammad Yermokazurkov. He was a freshman whose family says that he dreamed of becoming a neurosurgeon. And authorities, they are asking anyone with any information, no matter how big or small, to contact the police or even leave a tip on the FBI line or even leave a tip online. Any way that you would like to leave that information, they're asking for the public their help in finding this suspect. And now turning to Los Angeles, where federal authorities say they stopped a New Year's Eve bombing plot. Now, federal authorities say they arrested, 4 people accused of planning a coordinated pipe bomb attack across Southern California just weeks before the holiday. The FBI says the suspects were part of an extremist group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. They were allegedly planning to plant backpack bombs at multiple locations in Los Angeles to explode at midnight on New Year's Eve. Investigators say handwritten plans, they detailed how the bombs were going to be built and how to avoid leaving evidence.
Jesus.
Authorities, They moved in before the devices could be completed or deployed, but officials, they're calling it a credible and imminent terrorist attack, saying the arrest likely prevented mass casualties right before the holidays.
And the Turtle Island, what is it called? Turtle Island Liberation Front?
Turtle Island Liberation Front.
They don't got nothing better to do? Like, go do some drugs on New Year's Eve. Have a drink. Right? Get some cheeks. Go to church.
Save some turtles.
Save some turtles. What about the goddamn turtles?
Save some turtles.
Damn.
All right, y'all. Well, coming up at 7, before you return those unwanted holiday gifts, there's a change that you'll want to hear about that's definitely going to affect your wallet. We'll explain in the next hour.
All right. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Call us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some front page news. Now in Monday Night Football, the Steelers beat the Dolphins 28-15. What's up, Mimi?
Good morning, NV, Jess, Charlamagne. How y'all doing?
Peace, Mimi.
Good.
Good morning. All right, so we start this hour in Hollywood where President Trump, he is facing backlash after suggesting without evidence that filmmaker Rob Reiner's death was tied to criticism of him. Now, police say Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, they were found dead on Sunday. Their case is being investigated as a homicide, and their 32-year-old son has been arrested and charged with murder. No motive has been made public as of yet. But despite that ongoing investigation, Trump posted on social media claiming that Reiner died because of what he called Trump derangement syndrome, a term he uses to attack his critics. He wrote in part, "A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but very once talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and uncurable affliction with a mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome." He went on before finally saying, "May Rob and Michelle rest in peace." At the White House, they later reposted that response. And when asked about it, Trump, he doubled down. Let's listen to what he had to say.
A number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. So he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
How do you turn someone's tragic murder into politically motivated violence?
That's crazy.
Like he's making it seem like dude got killed because of his feelings toward Donald Trump. Why would you even want to put that out there, that someone would be killed for their opinion on a politician? And what are you saying about your followers and supporters that they would kill someone because they don't like you?
Exactly. And that post, it sparked immediate backlash, including Republicans and conservative commentators who said the remarks were inappropriate and exactly what you said, Charlamagne, politicizing a brutal killing. Several GOP lawmakers and conservative voices, they called for sympathy, they called for restraint. And one of the loudest rebukes, though, it came from Whoopi Goldberg, who criticized Trump's comments on The View. Let's listen to what she had to say.
The man in that White House, because he talked so much about Charlie Kirk and caring. And suddenly, this is what he puts out. Have you no shame? No shame at all? Can you get any lower? I don't think so. And what do you have to say about what's happened around the world? Where is our voice as Americans? Somebody's got to speak up for us. Our hearts are breaking through all of this, through Rob, through what's happened at Bondi Beach, what happened at Brown, and you don't find the time to say, as Americans, we hate what's happening. You ain't my president, man.
Well, the other reality is Donald Trump is the president. He doesn't have to comment on Rob Reiner at all. Rob Reiner isn't a politician. Rob Reiner's not an elected official. He's an actor. So he didn't have to say anything at all.
Right.
Yes. However, Reiner, he was deeply active in politics in both California and nationally. In California, he helped pass the first 5 California and helped pass marriage equality. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she talked about how his reach, it went far beyond Hollywood with a lot of the civic engagement that he was into. And Governor Gavin Newsom, when he was trying to get, I think it was marriage equality here in California, he said that it was Reiner who came to his aid and stood beside him when a lot of his own fellow political party members were silent on the issue. So he's had a big voice in politics, and I know he has spoke out a lot against Trump when he was running for president the first time. And so I think, that's what Trump is referring to when he's talking about the Russia hoax, and he's talking about how Rob had a lot of things bad or negative to say about him.
And also, he was going to run against
him and his wife were slain in their house.
Yes.
In their home by their, you know what I'm saying? It's just weird.
What were you gonna say, Envy?
I was gonna say, he was gonna run against Arnold Schwarzenegger for governor at one point. So he's heavy in the politics.
Also,
Arnold Schwarzenegger was gonna run.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was governor of California, Jess.
Oh my God, that's
Lord
so
have mercy.
crazy.
Also, does Donald Trump know what happened to Rob can happen to anyone?
Yes.
I know he got Secret Service and all the security in the world, but Rob got killed by his son. Somebody close to you can snap. Somebody close to you can flip out. So you should be very careful with that kind of energy, because don't think it can't happen to you.
That is right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know as the investigation continues, Lauren's going to get into more of the latest with that. But right now, Trump is facing a lot of backlash for those comments. So we'll see what happens with that. And turning now to another Trump headline, this one involving the media and a major lawsuit. So President Donald Trump, he's filed a $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the BBC, accusing the broadcaster of misleading viewers in a documentary that aired just before the 2024 election. So it centers around a BBC documentary called Trump, A Second Chance. It's similar in style to 60 Minutes here in the U.S. So Trump claims that the program, it edited his January 6th speech in a deceptive way, making it appear he directly urged his supporters to violently storm the Capitol. He was asked about this in the Oval Office. Let's listen to what he had to say.
I'm suing the BBC for putting words in my mouth, literally. They put words in my mouth. They had me saying things that I never said coming out. I guess they used AI or something. Even the media can't believe that one. They actually put terrible words in my mouth having to do with January 6th that I didn't say. And the beautiful words that I said, right? Talking about patriotism and all of the good things that I said, they didn't say that. And they got caught. That's called fake news.
Do we have the words, Mimi? I need to hear what the BBC said that he said.
I looked. We don't have the words. That's because the BBC had to pull it. They have promised to pull it from all airing platforms and to never air it again. So Trump, he filed that lawsuit late last night in federal court in Miami. According to the complaint, like he just said, they edited parts of a January 6th speech. He says that they placed comments that he said nearly an hour apart, side by side, to create the impression that he was calling for violence. The BBC, they acknowledged their error in judgment and how the clip was edited, and they apologized. They pulled the documentary up from its platforms and said, okay, we promise we will not air it again. The leadership, the BBC News leadership, including the Director General and the head of news, they all resigned. But still, Trump is arguing that the damage has been done, and especially since that documentary already aired. And he accused the BBC of election interference, even though he won. And he's seeking $5 billion for defamation and $5 billion under Florida's deceptive law practices, for a total of $10 billion. The BBC, they regret it, but they say that it's not defamation. But y'all, this is just a latest argument or series of lawsuits that Trump has filed against major media outlets. So we've got now the New York Times, the ABC, CBS, Wall Street Journal. And he's already received multi-million-dollar settlements paid to the Trump presidential library from those lawsuits.
Now, I'm not mad at this one if it's warranted. I'm actually more mad at the BBC, because you don't have to take Trump out of context. Okay, Trump gives you enough already that you can play in context. So to take him out of context and admit that you took him out of context, that's kind of crazy. That's beyond crazy, yo.
But $10 billion, I mean.
Hey, man, you just, people, I'm not mad at it.
Shoot for the stars and see what happens.
That's right. You're not going to get the $10 billion, but you're going to get something. And then sometimes it's just about the principle, because once again, BBC is a huge platform. They don't have to take the president out of context. The president gives you enough rhetoric that you can use to say, yo, He's bugging. You don't have to take him out of context.
Yeah, the very, very true, Charlamagne.
And they admitted to it and took it down? That's crazy.
They admitted to it, took it down, and the top people, they resigned. So,
damn.
Yeah. So
Mimi, did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger was your governor?
I did.
Jess,
but
you
he was
gotta
governor
stop.
like a long time ago.
Girl.
Oh my goodness.
Like, you
This
gotta
is so
stop.
crazy. I didn't even
you
know
still
that
on
he
that,
was
Jess?
a U.S. citizen. Girl, that man is from Austria.
Yeah, Australia.
Austria.
Australia.
No, he's from Austria. She's right.
That's Austria?
Thank you so much. Exactly.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Australia.
Oh my God. I didn't know that them type of people can be governor in America.
All right, Mimi, thank you. Mimi, thank you.
Mimi got one more story.
All right, y'all. Well, that is your front page news.
Oh, I thought you had another story.
I do. I have one more. I wanted to do this one. It's a holiday story, really quick. It's about a consumer alert this morning. It's for people who are going to return their holiday gifts. It's going to come with a cost this year. So the National the National Retail Federation says nearly 3/4 of all stores are now charging some type of return or restocking fee. So that's the money you don't get back if you buy something online or if you mail it back. So here's what shoppers they're going to be charged. So at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, returns by mail will now cost $12 per package. That's going to be taken right out of your refund. Damn. Macy's, they're going to charge about $10. JCPenney's, J.Crew, they're going to charge about $8. And it's not just fees. Return deadlines, they are also changing. So Amazon and Walmart, they're going to give you just until January 31st to return. Target January 24th, and Best Buy is January 15th. Now, if you miss those dates, those returns may not happen at all. And returning in store, you can avoid those fees. But the bottom line is, before you print the label, before you return anything, you want to read the small print. You want to check it out, because this holiday season, returns aren't as free and flexible as they used to be.
Are they calling it restocking fees? Is that what they're calling it? Restocking
They're
fees?
calling it restocking fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly. So a little fee if you want to return something this year. But that's just because of the sign of the times, right, Envy?
Yep,
like, literally.
absolutely. Yep. All right.
Stores are having to charge something. All right, y'all. Well, that is your front page news. I'm Mimi Brown. Follow me at Mimi Brown TV. For more stories, follow the Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app or visit BINnews.com.
All
Peace,
right. Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, Mimi.
Bye. See you later.
Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?